Today on Smackey's Garage, we're going to go through my top 5 mods for 2015 to 2020 F-150s. So this here's my 2018 F-150. We're going to go through the top 5 mods from number 5 all the way down to number 1 of my favorite mods that I've done to this truck that have made it a better truck and more enjoyable to not only drive but to own. Now this truck I bought in the model year itself of 2018. I've put about 70,000 miles on it of towing, of dipping it in salt water, of bringing it snowmobiling up in New Hampshire and hauling different things in the bed of the truck. Now, while owning this truck, I've made some mods to it that have made it so much of a better truck for myself and will make your truck a better truck for you. So we're going to cover specific mods for the 2015 to 2020 F-150s. Now let's go ahead, let's jump into my favorite mods. We're going to go from number 5 all the way down to number 1. I'll make sure that I link any of the mods in the description of this video below. Now, mod number 5 protects your truck. It's probably the first thing that I've bought for my truck when it was new to make sure that it stays looking good. So when we look at number 5, it's going to be floor mats. Now there's a lot of good options, whether you can get WeatherTech floor mats or you can get Husky floor liners. Either one's going to really do a good job, but you want to make sure that you protect your carpet underneath the floor mats. Now if you use your truck like I do, we go up skiing, we go snowmobiling, we end up getting a lot of mud, a lot of slush on the floors when we get back to the truck. And even just in the winter when you're walking around in the salt and you're stepping on your carpets in your truck, you want to make sure you have a liner there that it's going to protect the floor so it stays like new. Now having the liners in pretty much since new will make sure that nothing will damage your floors unless you spill some battery acid or something on it, which I have done in a past truck. All right, so here are the floor mats, but as you can see, they've definitely taken a good bit of wear over the past 5 years that I've owned them. But underneath, as you look, it's a little bit dirty under there, but the carpet's pretty much like new, and that's the whole point of it. It's to keep the carpets looking new. Now, these you can just replace whenever you need to, but you can't really replace the carpet because that you would have to take the entire interior out of the truck. So I really like these to protect the interior. Now, not only do I have the one in the front, now you can see I have one here in the back as well. It goes all the way to the rear of the front seats, all the way back to underneath the rear seats here. So, and then everything is kind of dished in a way that if any fluids do spill, it ends up flowing out in a way or capturing it. But you can see pretty much it's good. I can keep oiling and stuff back here and not have to worry about it. Speaking of spills, looks like I have one happening right now. Now mod number 4 is really important if you're going to be using your bed pretty much at all. So on these trucks, even on mine, which is an XLT 302A, higher end XLT, it didn't come with tailgate assist. Now when I got this truck, if I were to just let this go, this would just slam down and kind of slam flat. And if there's dirt or mud here built up on the tailgate, it's going to cause an issue where, slamming flats could put a dent down here, which you do not want. And honestly, after having it for a little while, you really forget that it's there, and it just does the job that you want it to do for you. Now this is something else that's been critical for me with my truck. So open, and it doesn't just fall straight down, it slowly goes down. Now for these tailgate assists, they're extremely easy to install. You can see there's a bracket here and then a bracket up here. So essentially you're just removing these components and then you're putting this in place. So it's removing this screw, putting this bracket on and in place, removing this up here, and then putting this bracket in place. And when you do that, all you have to do after those are in is just push this on. It just pushes on, and then this just pushes on. It's probably one of the simplest projects that you can do for your truck. The only thing you need to make sure you have is the right Torx bit to be able to take that apart. Now the third mod is probably something you don't even notice here. On a lot of these trucks, they don't come with wheel well liners. And what that means is, if you were to look at my truck before, all this area would be white and you just see the bare aluminum of the bed. With that, you're going to be kicking up rocks, especially if you have all-terrain tires, up in there, potentially causing some dents, potentially causing some corrosion. So when we look at what the third mod that's important to do, it's these wheel well liners right here. I have an entire video of installing these on my truck, and it walks through pretty much from the beginning all the way to the end. Now looking in here with the wheel, you can pretty much see that the wheel well liner covers all the way from the front to the back of the wheel well, and there's no more unsightly white body piece there. it doesn't look like it's unfinished like it did in the past. But not only does it protect that, but it also protects the upper part of the shock, so you're not getting anything thrown at it. So overall, I mean, it makes it look like a much more finished truck with these in place. I'm actually surprised that these aren't standard equipment on all F-150s. Now the next mod is something else that's incredibly important for your truck, and it makes the experience of owning a truck that much better and that much easier. So that mod is a bed cover. So I've had this bed cover since new. You know, I bought it, it's a Gator, and I only spent, it's probably one of the cheaper ones that you can buy, and it's held up really well over the past 5 years that I've had it on this truck. I've had zero issues with it. Been really happy with it. Now, if you purchase your first truck and you're coming from a car, one of the first things you're gonna notice is you don't really have trunk space anymore, so you wanna utilize the bed. The easiest way to do that is to put a cover on it like this. It provides some protection from people stealing, but not a lot, especially a softer one like this. When you look at it, it's keeping things in here dry, and it does a good job keeping things hidden and out of sight. You know, there have been a lot of times on this truck where I've just wanted to throw things in the bed and not have to worry about them flying out. This provides a solution for that. You can just throw your whatever you want in the bed of the truck, shut the cover, and not having to worry about tie it down or see it go flying out on the highway. Now let's go ahead and do my number one mod for this truck. Now, before we get into my number one favorite mod, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm almost at 5,000 subscribers. I think I'm about 4,200, and I'm trying to get there before the end of this year. So do me a favor, go ahead, subscribe to this channel. Now let's go ahead and look at my favorite first mod for this truck. Now my last mod and my number one mod is something that makes the driving experience that much better on the truck itself. Around 40,000 miles, I made a change to the suspension on it. I swapped out the rear shocks for Bilstein 5100s in the back, and it's made a significant difference in the ride quality. Now this is something that you could do whether you're towing or you're just driving the truck around the neighborhood or driving it to work and back. It makes a big difference. I was actually surprised at how big of a difference it made. These shocks make a huge difference on the road. The way that the truck handles corners is better. The way that it handles bumps, train tracks, things like that, significantly better experience. Feel a lot more planted than you did with the stock shocks on the truck. I was really surprised, and you know, when I have to get another new truck, this is probably one of the first mods that I'm going to do to it, because the OEM ones, just for me, wasn't cutting it. Now these are my favorite first modifications that I think anyone should do to a truck when they get it. Let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on these mods. Let me know down in the comments if you agree with me, or there are some other mods that you think people should be doing first before they jump into these mods. Now those are the top 5 mods I'd recommend to anyone who's gotten a truck and who's starting to modify it. All these mods I'll make sure that I link in the description below, so that if you want to go ahead and check them out, you can. Thanks for tuning in this week on Smackey's Garage.